Yes. So, Salil,
Recording.
yeah, you can. Salil, I think recording options you are having. So we can start, sir.
Yeah, I have no problem.
Okay.
My job is to talk. Your job is to listen or watch more WhatsApp. Okay. I'll share
Yes.
my screen then for introduction of GDR also.
Yeah.
Don't waste time on the introduction.
Okay. We'll try to keep it brief, but Salil, I think you can control now that mute all.
Can you see the slide? I'll speak for 90 minutes. Am I right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Uh, Still
Dhaval,
we are
I'm
muted.
checking this number.
Hmm?
I'm not getting connected with laptop. What happened? Putting this
Link.
ID and knocking the join, but they are not allowing me to join.
Actually in Google slowly it goes.
From cell phone, I'm able to join.
Okay. Nikhil, I'll ask you.
No, I have joined from my laptop only from the email link. You just click the email link. You get connected.
Yeah?
I got it connected from the email, the laptop only.
Email.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gmail.
Yeah, from email you can join, no?
Email is already there with him. Actually.
Click on that link.
Webinar at the rate.
You two fellows are not at the same place?
Sir, he's sitting that side of the house. I am sitting this side of the house.
Oh, okay. I thought you were separated or something like that. क्या आजकल की जमाना ऐसा है कि बेटा लोग बोलेगा पिताजी तकलीफ देता है जाने दो.
सर वो 12th के बाद ही उन्होंने छोड़ दिया था कि बेटा ज्यादा तकलीफ देता है तो इसको छोड़ दिया. So that is why I got raised and blessings from more people.
Okay, ठीक है.
So anyhow.
अभी 49 दिखता है 49.
59 sir.
59.
59 मेरे यहाँ 49 दिखता है. Maybe or 59. Maybe some fellow. All right.
59. I think we can start, Dhaval.
Yeah.
Yeah, those who want to be chemical engineers, they should at least join. Or those, every year I give lectures why you should do chemical engineering.
Yeah. Actually, all professors, many from MGM, everybody has joined. Students are also there, but comparatively, sir, little less actually. Because
ठीक है, all right.
500 स्टूडेंट्स आ जाते हैं ना सर तो प्रॉब्लम हो जाती है. Difficult to control them. So they will be watching on YouTube. Just after this lecture, also one session we'll be publishing immediately like that.
Oh God.
So there you will be getting around 1,000 viewers will be there. Because at online internship itself we are having around 1,000 students. That last year, sir, you inaugurated na that online internship.
Yes.
Yeah. So that Lean Six Sigma safety, everything is on. I think 4 batches are on now. So
ठीक है. It is your kingdom. My job just to keep quiet meanwhile.
Okay. I think, sir, we can start.
Dhaval, we can start. Please
yes,
start.
sir.
So I'll start with the introduction. Professor G.D. Yadav is one of the topmost and highly prolific and accomplished engineering scientists of India. He is internationally recognized by many prestigious awards as an academician, researcher, and innovator. For 10.5 years, he has served as a founding vice president and R.T. Modi Distinguished Professor and Tata Darbari Seth Distinguished Professor of Leadership and Innovation at the Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai. He currently holds the title of Emeritus Professor of Eminence and J.C. Joshi National Fellow in ICT. He also serves as the Adjunct Professor and Conjunct Professor at various international universities. He was conferred with Padma Shri, the fourth highest civilian award, by the President of India in 2016. He has also been the recipient of 2 honorary doctorates. According to the recent November 2020 survey by the Stanford University, Professor Yadav was ranked number 1 in India in physical chemistry and is within 0.2% of the world scientists and is ranked 66 globally. His research productivity is phenomenal, with supervision of 103 doctoral and 125 master's theses, which is a record in ICT and any engineering professor in India. Besides, he has supervised 43 postdoctoral fellows, several summer fellows, and research staff. He has also published numerous research papers, patents, books, and monographs. He is a part of various prestigious organizations, including he's a founder chairman of ACS India International Chemical Sciences Chapter, president of the Maharashtra Academy of Sciences, former president of Catalysis Society of India, president of the Indian Chemical Society, former president of the Indian Institute of Chemical Engineers, council member of the Indian National Society, National Science Academy. He is also on the editorial boards of the various prestigious journals and has been a member or chaired several national and international committees of MHID, DST, DBT, UGC, AICT, CISR, etc. He also serves on the board of multiple renowned companies. Sir is fond of literature, etymology, and Sanskrit. Handing over to you, sir. It's a great pleasure to have you here.
So
I
we
think
are glad-
before
yes, sir.
the lecture starts, I think Dawal has forgotten. A very good evening to all of you, most eminent chemical engineers who are attending today's Diamond Jubilee lecture of the special lecture series of the Indian Institute of Chemical Engineers, Mumbai Regional Center. We are very proud and delighted today that the only one, the living legend and the chemical engineering dada of the nation, Professor G.D. Yadav. I think it is a name symbolizes the nation. Anywhere in the chemical engineering community, you tell Professor G.D. Yadav, even a first year student of BTech, to any person who worked and serviced and then taught in the field of chemical engineering will all know who is Professor G.D. Yadav. What my friend, student who has given a brief introduction is only a very little to speak about him, but there are volumes of things that we can talk about Professor G.D. Yadav, who has made pioneering great contributions to the chemical engineering community in this country. In fact, when we first approached him for delivering this Diamond Jubilee special lecture series, he sent us one title, that is there any charm and scope in chemical engineering? Then we were wondering, I was wondering that is there any charm and scope in chemical engineering? Then promptly came another mail. Professor Yadav wrote, there is one word left. He said, is there any charm and scope left in chemical engineering? Because I understood that people like Professor G.D. Yadav have taken all the charm and scope in chemical engineering. So is there anything that is now left for the remaining younger people today? But I know very well that Professor Yadav is going to articulate with you for 1.5 hours. He is a person of limitless energy who can speak without referring to any of the notes or anything. And he will be talking on this title. What are the charm and scope still left in chemical engineering for all of you, the young chemical engineers? It is always pleasant to meet him, listen to him, or interact with him. I have seen during my tenure as the Heavy Water Board Chief Executive, I used to go and meet him in ICT. Every time I go, I take some extra time to meet him, because when you come back from his chamber, You come lot of energetic, enthusiastic, and you come with a lot of new ideas. And such a brilliant man who has no parallel in this country, in my opinion. Who is such a fine human being, a highly educated person, highly knowledgeable person in the field, who not only excelled in academic research but also highest industrial networking that he has got. Today, we are also very proud that in addition to delivering this Diamond Jubilee special lecture by us, he is also, completed more than 100 PhD students guidance in this country. I don't think that anybody else would have achieved that. He still continue to, guide 15 more students. He has got, Hutch Index more than 65, and he has got more than 14,000 citations. He has got plenty of patents in his basket, applications of more than 470. It is amazing biodata, and above all, topping it is Padma Shri Award winner from the Government of India. That is the highest award any civilian can get for great contribution in his field. And sir, we are very proud, sir, Professor Yadav, sir, that you have accepted our humble invitation, and you are
Yes.
here now to make us for about 1.5 hours. I don't think that anybody will leave. Every one of us will be spellbound with the way you are going to articulate that what is the charm and scope that is still left in chemical engineering, that we all can take a thread, we all can take a point from you, and then further contribute to the growth of the chemical engineering community in this country. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. Now it is your floor is yours, and we are all going to listen to you and waiting for your articulation. Welcome,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Over to Professor Yadav. Sir, you are muted, sir. You are muted.
No, unmute. Yeah.
Professor Yadav, you are muted.
Yeah. Just.
You have to
Sorry.
unmute. You have to unmute,
Okay,
Professor Yadav.
okay. Now is
Yeah.
it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
can
Now,
you
okay.
hear me? Can you
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
me?
yeah. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. I'm really honored and humbled by the kind words which you used. I don't know whether I deserve it. So you clean bowled me. So I wanted to score a century. But anyway, let me try. I have given a very provocative title for this particular lecture series. This is the Diamond Jubilee celebration of Mumbai Regional Center. I was honorary secretary of this center. Then I was also chairman of the center, and then I became honorary secretary of the head office, and later on I became president of the head office. So I'm very well connected with the IICHE. So the reason why I have chosen this topic, exotic topic, is that many times people ask me this question, sir, what is there in chemical engineering? And I don't know what to say, because everybody in my family is a chemical engineer, and all of them are PhDs. So although we don't talk chemical engineering at home, but still people ask. So I want to tell them something else. Okay, the new trinity which we talk about these days, like we have Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, the Hindu philosophy, or the Christian philosophy, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. I can go into antiquity and tell the Christians have derived it from Hindu philosophy. What is the new trinity? A new God, that is change, challenge, and opportunity. So what it means, that every time some opportunity comes and we have to change, like this corona has done. Look at this butterfly. It changes its colors, but actually it is not a pigment. Many people won't know this. This butterfly has the nano structures, and it is because of the refraction, diffraction, reflection, the color of the wing are changed and it camouflages. So one has to be like the butterfly. Or if you are constrained somewhere, like this fish here, and one of the fish wants to be liberated. So unless it goes to some other place, he cannot liberate. So, but there is a chance it may fall between the two, pots. Or, in other words, we have to take risk every now and then. And chemical engineering is this kind of field where the profession has taken a lot of risk and will continue to do so. Okay, so we need new materials and new sources of energy to survive and progress. Never have so many compelling technological problems have occupied positions of prominence in our system of values. Every moment something happens unexpectedly, posing a new challenge. What challenge chemical engineering will face? And is there any charm in being a chemical engineer? Okay, so I'm going to answer some of these questions. Coronavirus changed everything. The way we think, live, meet, behave, or rejoice. None of this was imagined a year ago. What new opportunities the pandemic has provided for chemical engineering? So let us discuss all these things. Well, this is a very provocative title. God is a chemical engineer. You know, when did I say it? This was on 17th February 2001. There was a seminar arranged by IICHE, the local regional chapter in Bhubaneswar. And the secretary of the state, chief secretary, was the chief guest. And I was the last person to talk because I was the president of this IICHE. And you know what he said? He said he is going to ban all chemical industry. So I got up and said, Mr. Secretary, I'm going to educate you. And he had said that Bhubaneswar will be Cyberation. What an interesting coincidence. That the same Bhubaneswar I went again to have ICT's campus. On 17th February 2001, it was a Saturday, I said, if you don't want chemical industry, I don't support any polluting industry, okay? Everything has to be clean, green and all. And I had already started teaching green chemistry to chemical engineering students at 3 or 4 years before that. And so I said, then what you are wearing on your body, everything is a chemical. It will disappear and you will have to use, leaves and whatnot. And you will go back to Stone Age. And I said, chemical engineering is highly accommodative and versatile discipline. And I believe God is a chemical engineer. And next day, there was a headline in the New Indian Express. And that fellow said, a professor, that time it was UDCT, the professor from UDCT Mumbai says, God is a chemical engineer. And in fact, he inverted that and he said, God is a chemist. I said, okay, all right. I came back and the ICT students were, that time there was a low market for chemical engineering. People used to go to IT and all those things. And they thought chemicals means it's dirty. Okay, even I used to joke that if there is a Swayamvar, like the Mahabharata and Ramayana, nobody will choose a chemist or chemical engineer. That will be the last person. Okay. So I said, God is a chemical engineer. So the students of ICT printed t-shirts and they said, God is a chemical engineer. And I was amused. And then I said, next, I said, oh my God, but chemical engineers are not. So this is my next rejoinder to God is a chemical engineer. So much so, this is there on YouTube. You can see this series where I say God is a chemical engineer and why I say so. But in 2001 December, the presidential address I gave in 2001, I said my title of my talk was Home to Genome. And I said from material to life, how chemical engineering has played a role. But now we have advanced ourselves. Last 20 years, so many things have happened. So when we say we want to invoke God, why do we want to invoke God at the time of difficulty? We want peace or prosperity, luxury. God is omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. It is all inclusive. God is inclusive. And chemical engineering has luckily been inclusive. So many different people from different disciplines, whether it is chemistry, physics, mathematics, people have come and joined and become great chemical engineers. And I will tell you some story a little later. So what is a chemical engineer and what is his job? So chemical engineering, the chemical engineers are compatible with chemists, but they do much more than with this knowledge than just make chemicals. In fact, the term chemical engineer is not even intended to describe the type of work a chemical engineer performs. Instead, it is meant to reveal what makes the field different from other branches of engineering. And I have deliberately put different pictures here. On one hand, pharmaceutical to space and whatnot. Okay, that is what I was shown here. And why this is happening? Because there is a backing of chemistry to chemical engineering. The attributes that perhaps most distinguishes chemistry from the rest of the sciences is the ability of chemists to control the structure of matter at the molecular level. And I said in the very beginning, we require new types of materials every now and then. And what happens from molecular level, from complex natural products like vancomycin to nanoparticles and whole genomes? The beauty is that chemical engineers make it happen. Otherwise, it will remain just a laboratory curiosity. So why chemical engineering? Just not because I'm a chemical engineer. Chemical engineering enjoys a special and critical place in scientific and engineering disciplines. In fact, the journal Chemical Engineering Science always says science. So there is a science all the time in chemical engineering, which may not be the case in other cases. Okay, but yes, it is accommodative, it is versatile, and it plays in the world of atoms, molecules, physical and molecular transformations. So whatever is there, chemical engineering plays, the chemical engineering principles are, used, and human body is the best example of that. So what happens? Chemical engineering always deals with systems. And if we define system, there is a boundary. So chemical engineering deals with analysis of rate processes, be that physical, chemical, biological, even atomic. That is what chemical engineering does. So we do analysis of system and system boundaries. That is, material flows in or energy flows in and energy flows out. And that is done very beautifully in chemical engineering. Since there is a reaction that distinguishes chemical engineers from rest of the engineers. So we also deal with space and time. And in both the cases, chemical engineering tries to optimize space, that is minimum reactor volume or minimum separator volume, and also time. So that means we don't want to have long reactions. We want to do in a shorter period of time so that the productivity can be increased. So chemical engineering always deals with containers, vessels, column from a scale of atom to atmosphere. And when I used to teach residence time distribution to third year and fourth year chemical engineering students, I used to give them examples of a railway, bogie, or for that compartment which is filled with people. So there you have a plug flow system. You are pushed out of the, you cannot move back also. Very good example. But once you come on the platform, it is chaotic, back mixed flow. Okay, that is what I used to tell them. So there is a lot of fun. So material and energy will flow with reference to a system, and that is the basis of chemical engineering. So no matter what happens in future, chemical engineering will always have a scope, and I'm going to tell you. In other words, chemical engineering is a multilingual entity. Okay, so what it does is it can talk comfortably with all branches of science, engineering, technology, mathematics, medicine, and the so-called instrument technology. So this simple question I ask to commoners, those who are interested in chemical engineering, can you show any 3 man-made materials or products without the use of chemicals? And maybe you are using a mask right now, or somebody is playing with a mobile phone, or nicely sitting somewhere in some office. Can you do that? The answer is that you cannot show any material, man-made material, which is made without the use of chemicals. Otherwise, you will get a price of £100 million, which has been waiting for anybody since 2008. Mark the year 2008. I'm going to make reference to 2008. 2008 was the year when AICHE also completed 100 years of its existence. And I was present for that function. And they honored 100 chemical engineers in that particular session. So yes, you cannot find anything. So whatever is happening in today's world, whether it is energy, water, food, affordable healthcare, environment, carbon footprint, industry, infrastructure, sustainable development, GDP, chemical engineering is there. And so even in today's world of COVID-affected economy. And so once you have, most of the people are dealing with oil and gas. That is yesteryear now. This is still continuing, but it is not going to remain forever. So we normally see the final products like the end users, whether it is pharmaceutical, consumer products, building materials, furniture, name it. So these is a gradation. So primary industry, secondary, tertiary, quaternary, and the super specialty industry. We know all that thing. And so what it means, chemical industry is essential and non-optional, no matter which year you want to make it. Okay, whether you come back to life in 2100, you will still require all these things. So what happens, remember, in the year, this is around year 1000 AD. Okay, 1000 AD, during that time, the population of Europe plummeted. Almost 70% people died because of the Black Death, the bubonic plague. What is happening now in the world because of COVID? And this provided an opportunity to the scientists and all to make use of, chemistry as a science. And you see this, so you come down here and 1856, and all of a sudden there is a steep rise in population. And this was the birth of organic chemical industry. Thanks are due to William Perkin, who was a scientist come industrialist. At the age of 18, he did it. So this is chemistry is responsible. Chemicals are responsible for longevity, comfort, and luxury. So now what happens in the year 2100? Will it be sustainable? So let us look at it. Can we feed the public? And what could be the population? 10 billion, 1100 billion, or 14 billion? All sorts of predictions are made, and you know that all predictions go wrong. Okay. So this is where the role of the Sustainable Development Goals, 17 goals are, defined here. No poverty, zero hunger, good health, quality education, all those things. If you look at the first three, all of these will have a lot of bearing by chemical engineering and chemistry. So we know that. So the beauty of versatility of chemical engineering is that you take this particular circle here. So you have engineering, RD, commercial R&D, engineering, manufacture, and everything you go. What we do here in this particular set has a bearing on what is being described outside. So I won't go into reading this, but I will tell you, improve plant design. Do you have some new methods of plant design? Can you create a new production process? Can you discover a new application for existing compound? Okay, so the so-called formulation engineering, for instance, like ICT's courses, the so-called BTech courses are all formulation engineering. Can you create a new product? Can you attract and retain talent? For example, can you improve interaction with? So all sorts of things happen when we are our background. So chemical engineers throughout the chemical process industry can innovate in their day-to-day work. That is what it says. So what was the birth of chemical engineering? You see this particular slide here. This was Manchester, okay? And Lee-Blanc process was being used there. And Lee-Blanc process, you see, this is given here. I won't go into the details of this, but this process was highly polluting. Hydrochloric acid was going out, and sometimes H2S, and this will fog the entire area. So that time the Queen of England, Elizabeth, asked one of her alkalis of factories. That fellow is George Davis. George Davis is the father of chemical engineering. And what was his job? His job is to find out, a substitute for Lee-Blanc process. And he went back in history and found that the Solvay process is a better process. And so Solvay process is based on the reaction of salt, ammonia, and carbon dioxide. And if a concentration solution of salt is saturated with ammonia, and then you get sodium bicarbonate, and then you heat it into sodium carbonate, okay? This is actually the birth of chemical engineering. And George Davis gave 12 lectures in University of Manchester, to people, and he said this is chemical engineering. So this started with industrial chemistry and chemical engineering. At the same time in MIT, course X, that is course 10, was started by Norton Lewis. And there he started from a different angle, that is mechanical engineering with little bit of chemistry. So the origin was the same, but George Davis was supposed to be the father of chemical engineering. And so if you see over the years what has happened, that the chemical engineers of yesteryears having profound influence of profession. George Davis, I told you already, father of chemical engineering. Arthur D. Little, the name of this company in his name is still there. Great man from MIT. Carl Bosch, that is, Haber-Bosch process. Carl Bosch was a chemical engineer. Okay. Then this lady, Marguerite Rousseau, first woman from MIT to be a chemical engineer, and she designed the penicillin plant. Or Vladimir Hansel, platforming process, had a great impact. He is in the Hall of Fame, Engineering Hall of Fame in the United States. Great guy. Or Dermot Manning, John Perry, because Perry's handbook, you know that, but Perry himself was a catalyst scientist, and he worked on the sulfuric acid process. Or this George Rosenkranz, okay, sterile pharmaceuticals. Trevor Claeys, he is the father of the inherent safeguard chemistry, inherent safety, and Thomas Sherwood, okay, Tom Sherwood. Tom Sherwood worked on drying and all, but he wrote a lot of books, applied engineering achievements and all. This is what the yesteryears chemical engineering, but still it was supposed to be a voodoo, okay? Like the mothers are practicing chemical engineering in the kitchen, and I always say that mothers are the best chemical engineers, okay? They know how to chop it, how to boil it, and how to sieve it and whatnot. And so chemical engineering, because they are mixing something and some another product is coming out, or people thought it is, chemical engineering. But think of MIT, Wisconsin, and later Minnesota. Think of Bird, Stewart, and Lightfoot, and you will understand what chemical engineering was done by these guys. So Bird, Stewart, Lightfoot, first when they wrote this transfer phenomenon, Byron Bird. Byron Bird was giving lectures in Netherlands, and he wrote this kind of equations, this continuity equation, Navier-Stokes equations. And later on, his colleague, Warren Stewart and Edwin Lightfoot. Lightfoot has visited us, ICT, I think on 4 occasions he gave lectures. And so their book brought, because it contained mathematics. And then you have Coulson and Richardson in UK. And of course, Octave Levenspiel. Who doesn't know Octave Levenspiel? So what happened thereafter? They found respectability, because a lot of physicists thought this is, chemical engineering is some kachra, okay? They're not good. But look at this. Chemical engineering, how highly influenced it is by mathematics. And this article was written by our great Ramakrishna of Purdue University, along with Neil Amundsen. Remember, Neil Amundsen was a mathematician. So was Rutherford Harris, but they became great chemical engineers because they gave respectability. So Rutherford Harris, okay, his elementary chemical reactor analysis, James Smith's kinetics, or George Stephanopoulos. George Stephanopoulos is a personal friend of mine. He has visited ICT a number of times. Or Octave Levenspiel. I had the honor of taking Octave Levenspiel on a tour of Mumbai. And then Shrew's Chemical Process Industries. And our chemical engineering thermodynamics. By all these books, you see this vector tensors by Rutherford Harris and Ramakrishna's book on linear operation in methods in chemical engineering. All these things gave respectability to chemical engineering. So chemical engineering was no longer a guru science. It was a great science. And so, because it is applied to all life processes, molecular matter, energy processes, from megascopic, mesoscopic to atomic, chemical engineer is a protector and provider, like the God is doing it, okay? So this is what the God is doing. That is what I said. And so God is a chemical engineer or molecular engineer. But interestingly, all these processes where we are dealing, they are based on carbon economy. And now we are debating about carbon economy. In fact, I am talking against this, carbon-based fuels. Okay, so we have both non-renewable and renewable fuels. Okay, and I say no matter what carbon source you use, ultimately its fate is carbon dioxide. And unless you take care of carbon dioxide, so-called net zero economy is not possible, and entire world is talking about net zero economy. So will chemical engineers have any role in that? Yes. So this is our typical refinery. In all these refineries, you can see that, and where hydrogen plays a great role. So what happened? In 2008, I gave this H.L. Ray Memorial Lecture in ChemCon 2008. And what was the title? Is there any beauty, charm, and challenge left in chemical engineering? So today I modify this, but I said you, this lecture I gave, and in last 12 years time, things have changed dramatically. And how they have changed, I will tell you. In the year 2008, data analytics was not existent. CRISPR was not existing, which is a gene editing technology. Cyber threat analysis, exascale computing, tracking, which is talked about a lot, or Ola, Lyft, and Uber were obscure, nobody heard. And that time, this iPhone was just introduced. And everyone was contactable at any time. And smartphones have become ubiquitous now, right? So 2008, when I gave that lecture, none of these things were there. And look at 2008 was in 10 years time. You know, it would have been ludicrous to predict that the future of the car would not include drivers, right? So driverless, so-called autonomous cars. So extraordinary advances have taken place in sensors, including biosensors, computing power, artificial intelligence. And the computing power does not come without materials. So we have to produce materials, produce the best of the metals, we have to produce. And so it is all chemistry and chemical engineering and so-called artificial intelligence. So now driverless car is a reality. And it's the same way the aviation industry grew up in a highly regulated environment, making commercial air travel extremely safe is going to happen in this case. So obviously, because of this, our supply chain is affected. Everything is affected. And so I think chemical engineering, we have a lot of things to do. So remember, in 2008, the 5 largest companies in the US market were ExxonMobil, great company for chemical engineers to be employed, GE, Microsoft, AT&T, and Procter & Gamble. And same 5 largest in the world were PetroChina, ExxonMobil, GE, China Mobile, and ICBC, China. In 2018, the 5 largest, both in the US and the world, are Apple, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and Facebook, right? Where are the chemical industries, right? But they cannot exist without chemical industry. That's what I want to tell you. So largely on the basis of iPhone, Apple went from 15th largest in the US to number 1 in 2018. So this is very interesting. So that means the expansion of the traditional chemical engineering expertise is going. And how it is happening? So we had applied chemistry, transport processes, process analysis and design, business and communication skills. And these are being augmented by new expertise in science and engineering at molecular and nano scale, in biosynthesis, in sustainability, and in cyber tool. So over the next 25 years, how will these changes affect your industry and research area? Have you thought on this? Okay. So look at the future of chemical and allied industry. We need to develop environment-friendly, economically, socially sustainable, circular global economy. That means chemical engineers will have a lot of role in circular global economy. I'm going to give some examples. So the desire of many countries to reduce an over-dependency on fossil fuels by diversifying their energy sources, the so-called net zero economy. I've written an article, I've written an editorial also. The global issue of climate change and the need to reduce atmospheric greenhouse gases. Okay, that means our scales are much larger now. So the processes and the products are safe by design. This is a new thing. So everything has to be safety related. During last year, 1 year, more than 50 accidents took place in industry. 95% of them were related to fire. That means something was unsafe. That chemicals and materials are designed for cost, material and energy efficient recycling. So recycling is going to be the new buzzword in chemical engineering. And the end of life solution of the products is equal to or probably better than the incumbent products. So the LCA analysis, suppose I dump this computer, can I get better material out of it to be used? So and also the deployment of biorefineries in rural areas will stimulate regional rural growth. So chemical engineering will have a lot of scope in this. Okay. And also the downstream chemical industry, the several global oil and gas majors are turning their sight on downstream chemical opportunity. What is biotechnology or biochemical processing? It is all downstream. And you know that 80% of the cost is on downstream. And unless you have better separation processes, better reactor design, you cannot, contain that cost. So this may increase the focus on petrochemicals in India and higher investment in this sector, and therefore chemical engineers in India will have a larger scope. That's what I'm saying. What will be the new type of industries and research area? Miniaturization, micro reactors and micro separators. And why? Because of safety, and also on demand, we will have something which we want to make immediately without storing anything. Waste to wealth and circular economy. These will be bigger industries in future than we have currently right now. Okay. So what will be the chemical engineer profession? So ongoing evaluation of the profession, including the new need for new modes of education, which we are right now experiencing and doing it, high standards of performance and conduct, effective technical, business and public communication, and desires for a more sustainable future. That will be after 25 years in our profession. So can we extrapolate into the future? Making predictions is to project from today's trends and breaking developments. However, such extrapolation is difficult. Sometimes they will go haywire because unforeseen scientific discoveries, technical advances and product demands and global economic and political swings can change everything. However, they will require material and energy. So the complementary approach is to project backward from the future. This is one of the ways how predictions are made. You envision the future and you go backward and you say, and they speculate and bring it back to this time now. So how might need them and challenge our imaginations? And many needs will be the same. Many things will remain the same. We will require a phone, only the model will be different. The way in which the weight will be different. Okay. It will be faster. All those things will be there. So what is interesting is that it will be startling, disrupting development in the future. So the increasing economic power and the rise of the middle class in today's developing countries will drive demand for more materials, more efficient materials. These engineering materials are components and whatnot, energy, products, and access to technology. New and more efficient methods of material production. So chemical engineering will be there. Process intensification, energy intensity improvement, and zero emission technology. So chemical engineers still will be there. Consumers, society, and regulatory bodies will demand better carbon efficiency. Once again, chemical engineering will be there and reduce overall emissions to the environment. The ever increasing demand for food will be satisfied by the application of enhanced farming and food generation methods using non-traditional farming techniques, new bio-based active agents, data sciences, and of course, so-called genetically modified food. All that thing is going to happen. So the limited access to water will continue to drive technology advancement. So we will have so-called ZLD, zero liquid discharge. So purification, desalination, and recyclability. And the consequence of previous and current waste generation will require new industries built around the reuse and recycle of existing landfill. So whatever municipalities have thrown, that has to be taken that material back and, extract, some precious metal, maybe in lithium, for example. Demand for lighter weight, more durable materials that are fully and easily recyclable will increase. So recyclability will be important aspect of research in chemical engineering. The renewal of civil infrastructure like bridges, roads, electric grids, water systems, and others will involve more cost-effective and innovative design, which chemistry and materials will be created. That means chemical engineering will have great role to play. Of course, the energy sector will remain vibrant because of the economic landscape. Okay, during 2008, US field production of oil dropped to $5 million because of the tertiary oil recovery methods, including fracking. So fracking became a big business. During this COVID, $7 trillion of fracking business was closed because oil became so cheap. Okay, it went, one day on 10th April 2020, the cost of oil was negative. What it means, more production than you can store it. So at the same time, renewable energy, hydrothermal, wind, solar, geothermal, biomass has increased, and to the total US electricity production. Same thing has happened in India, and chemical engineers will have a role to play both in traditional fossil fuel based as well as the emergible renewable sector. So look at the structure of the global energy system. You look at 1900, year 1900, and see by 2050, we would like to have, the oil use will go down, coal will go down, but coal will still be used by that time. India will still be using by 2040. The use of renewables will go up. That means we have to work in renewables, develop something new which can be used in renewables. So a decade ago, we know about shale gas, but we had no idea how easy and inexpensive it would be to produce. And that is why United States did not care for Middle East, because they said, now we don't require Middle East. They got so much of shale gas. And they started developing new alternate chemistry and processing technology. Of course, processing technology means chemical engineering, right? So you look at the scenarios, CO2 emissions. This is what we are talking about, the so-called net zero. So in the year 2020, this was 35 gigatons of CO2 being emitted. And unless we bring it down to less than 10, okay, if the temperature cannot be contained within 1.5 degrees C. That means there is a tremendous scope to find new sources of energy, new technology. And I wrote a paper on this, that is, which has more than 4,200 accesses in just 5 months. That paper, where we have argued on the use of crude oil versus biofuels and what should be done. So then, of course, the transportation fuel, chemical engineers will be able to combine advances in computational modeling, data analytics, optimization tools, and next generation and bio-based catalysts to produce fuels and chemicals with lower emissions. Okay. So what it means, the future of energy industry will involve traditional chemical engineering. We'll have still filtration, drying, name it. Okay, crystallization. We will have a transport phenomena. We'll have process design. We have advanced computational capabilities. All those things will be there, but we'll have improved sensors. We'll have improved data collection. We'll have faster methods of sending information back and forth. So in the case of renewable energy, the price of electricity will go down because solar energy is now low. It is cheaper. Day by day, it is becoming cheaper. But what happens to the solar panels when their life is over? So that means we have to have another sort of industry to recover that material, convert back into energy or some other material, right? So yes, we will have many of these things. The sustainability, with reference to that, we have many things, and chemical companies could prioritize environmental sustainability to protect long-term shareholder value while continuing to comply with local regulations. Alternative feedstock. It has to be accelerated to build an at-scale business and take advantage of economy of scale. So chemical engineering survived because of the economies of scale. And I mentioned about atom to atmosphere, right? So we have big retards and whatnot, very big cement plants, okay? That is required. They are cheaper because of the economy of scale. So this is another interesting aspect, okay? So this is going to be very interesting as far as alternative and cheaper feedstock. So new ways of energy generation, storage, or development of unlimited and inexpensive energy with new ways of generating the energy, storing it, and transportation for sustainable development. So this is another area where mechanical engineers will work, electrical engineers will work, but chemical engineers will also work with new vigor. Okay. So you look at the, for example, so chemical engineers play a great role in all these energy sectors. That is what I'm trying to tell you. And the solar photovoltaic or nuclear, okay, or biomass. For example, many of you may not know that the atomic energy was the largest employer of chemical engineers in India. And Bhabha Atomic Energy Center had so many chemical engineers from ICT. Okay. So now we look at the alternate energy pricing, the solar concentrators, solar photovoltaics, and diesel generator, wind, biomass gasification. So what it means, the falling silicon prices and improving thin film production will increase the efficiency, and therefore the solar energy will. So India has planned much larger plants in terms of gigawatt capacity, I think 227 gigawatt or something like that. So at the same time, okay, materials which are regarded as waste have to be recycled. So particularly, see, you may have a plasma converter and all those things, so this is again, whether it is wind, solar, or any other grid material, it has to be reprocessed. Okay. And so design of inexpensive, high energy density and quickly rechargeable storage batteries. Another great area for chemical engineers, because here we have by 2030, a lot of these things will be electrical vehicles. Okay, correct. And then of course, development of practical, less expensive, more stable fuel cells with improved membranes, catalysts, electrodes, and electrolytes. So chemical engineering again plays a very important role in this area. And digital technology. So you can use digital and analytics to improve margins. So chemical companies could see an increase of 3 to 5% points in earning before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, so-called EBITDA in chemical industry. So this is from Industry 4.0 technology, and I'm going to talk about that. So what it means, the sustainability should be beyond compliance. Okay, it is not because the regulatory bodies want you to have some measures. You want to do decarbonization because that is going to be next future. That is for energy, but carbon will be used for materials, and that is what we have said in our paper also. So of course, this is going to be a very important thing. And government policy, of course, this is for the Indian government, that is so-called PCPIRs. Okay, so you can have a lot of these policies which will encourage growth of chemical industry, but it will be sustainable and non-polluting industry. So yes, biomass. If you take biomass, cellulose, hemicellulose, lignin, all of these things can be converted into variety of products like xylitol, fertilor, ethanol, ferulic acid. But my personal belief, and this we also said in our paper, ethanol should not be used as a fuel. Okay, yes, for some time you can do it, but it can be used for making ethanol and other chemical. So a rich catalog of catalytic processes is available to make value-added chemicals. So a lot of work will still be required for developing new types of catalysts, new types of chemistries, where there is no risk and you have a better process efficiency. So you have carbon dioxide, you go to oxygenates, or you go to hydrocarbons. So that means hydrogen is the key. And so hydrogen, since we are talking about sustainability, production of hydrogen from water is the best source for doing this. Okay, same is the case with plastics. Plastic waste can be converted into useful materials and depolymerization and whatnot. I won't go into the details, but this is just to tell you the glimpse. So hydrogen production is going to be very, very important in the so-called net zero economy. And I want to tell you personally that, we have developed a technology which is far superior to all other technologies. We have compared with 19 technologies in the world, where the cost of hydrogen production, they say it should be around $2 per kg. That is what they do in the so-called, gray hydrogen in refineries. And they talk about $2. The other, electrolyzers and whatnot, the cost is very high. We are producing hydrogen at something like 95 cents. So our technology is, very good. So we are trying to commercialize it. Yes. So nuclear power, enrichment, nuclear waste were not mentioned but these are the topics will be useful in the next 25 minutes. Health-related biotechnology. Now, biotechnology or bioprocessing goes back to the beginning of chemical engineering. Okay, and biology has become a molecular science. So chemical engineers will apply molecular sciences. Thus, it is natural that chemical engineers are deeply involved in expanding range of modern biotechnology. In fact, when I was the chairman of a committee which state of Maharashtra the chief minister had appointed, I was the chairman. There I recommended that all engineering graduates must study biology. They must study chemistry, physics, mathematics, and biology, including civil engineering. Because tomorrow's materials, we have biomaterials, okay, which we will be doing. So new information about genetics leading more personalized diagnostics and medicines. Chemical engineering is going to play a very important role, new drugs, okay, and nanotechnology and nanoscale transport offered by new possibilities, non-invasive delivery. Okay, these days we are talking about non-invasive delivery. Can we find out, for example, somebody is diabetic or not by just looking at the saliva? Okay, So this kind of thing. So immunology and gene editing drugs are more opportunities for chemical engineers. And industry has long used fermentation, bioreactants, and extraction of natural dyes and drugs and chemical synthesis to mimic or tweak biomolecules. And therefore, there one has to use biology and chemistry. So the reactor engineering expression for biogenic kinetics, Michaelis-Menten kinetics, it was 1913, and Menten was a lady, the first Canadian lady who got PhD. Like I mentioned, our first American lady in MIT. And this was based on the empirical binding model, okay? And there was no idea about enzyme substrate binding. It was new, and that was the revolutionary idea, okay? So what it means, these kind of things, something which appears to be rudimentary can be a breakthrough technology later on. So biological pharmaceutical through molecular genetic engineering, this is where chemical engineers will work, okay? And so, many of the departments of chemical engineering in the Western world are chemical and biological engineering. Earlier, it used to be chemical and petroleum engineering because that was the trend. Then it became chemical and environmental engineering, right? Then sometimes it became chemical and biological engineering or biochemical engineering. So now what is happening? There is a dramatic development called CRISPR-based tools for gene editing, and this is where chemical engineers will play a role tomorrow in this type of technology. So gene editing, this is most talked about method for gene editing, bursting onto the scene in just past 6 years, okay, not long time. So the gene editing and the advances of examining genes is now quicker, and therefore the human genome sequence is decreased to about $100. So that is very important. Then another area where chemical engineers will have great score is deep learning, because chemical engineers touch billions of lives. In fact, their success is due to their ability to leverage emerging technology from other fields. And chemical engineers are accommodative, as I said. They learn also something else. So artificial intelligence is going to help chemical engineering. And in fact, I introduced this subject in our new courses. I integrated MTech in Bhubaneswar and Jalna because I felt that was required. So deep learning is an approach to AI that is powering game-changing solutions in every domain. And that will be a formidable tool in the box of chemical engineers. So deep learning, artificial neurons, activation functions, artificial neural network, ANN is used by chemical engineers and the back propagation algorithms and whatnot. So deep learning is a part of chemical engineering now. So whether it is light, material, or energy, chemical engineer always plays a role, okay? And so another interesting aspect is process intensification. So any chemical engineering development that leads to a substantially smaller, cleaner, and more energy efficient technology is process intensification. So you can use it on business, processes, environment, where you reduce energy, wastage, solvent, and whatnot. So these concepts are universal, okay, for faster and safer and greener processing. Look at process intensification for solid handling applications, right from crystallization, separation, mixing, bioprocessing. All sorts of things are done, including making of solid catalyst, okay? And in space, for example, in space, a lot of chemical engineering is required. In fact, I gave a lecture, this slide I prepared for that, last year for ISRO. So you can see that, they carry gallons of fluid, 1 lakh gallons, 10 lakh gallons rather. And they use 500,000 gallons, including liquid oxygen. You can see. So the rocket, the inside part, the new types of materials, polymers, lightweight, and it has to also withstand very high temperature. Chemical engineering is required. So the space shuttle material, they are, winged orbiter that carried both crew and cargo. Imagine this entire system weighs something like 2,000 tons and 56 meter high. So that also, so what materials can survive in space? And that Kalpana Chawla, when she entered that thing, their spacecraft got burnt because of something. So you can see the temperature spike, minus 101 to 288 degrees C, such a wide range of temperature where this material must survive. So a lot of scope even for this space engineering. Okay, so that has to be tough and strong, and there is a mixing of multiple metals, and all sorts of things. So you can imagine, this is what happens. This is from the Falcon 9 when it was recovered. Okay, so the best applied materials for spacesuits, starships, and electrons in orbitals. So that means discovery has to be there, and carbon nanotubes have come to the rescue. So a lot of different types of polymers are there in space systems. Okay, and so ISRO has a lot of scientists who are working in polymer science and material science. So you can imagine. So this is also there. So carbon nanotubes in space applications. See, look. Everywhere there is a chemical engineering applications, or in carbon, they can harden the electronics for use in aerospace. You see, single wall nanotubes, then graphene based materials, and these are the best race astronauts. You can see that this I have taken from NASA's site. So alternative production processes and chemical reaction that can reduce waste generation, consume less water, require less dangerous materials, and result in greater energy efficiency or higher yields of the desired kind. So chemical engineering will play a very, very important role. So, and the other one is the industrial automation. Okay, industrial automation can, optimize production and quality. And then, of course, I talked about nanotechnology and nanomaterials. Then the interesting part is, healthcare system, advanced pharmaceuticals. I was talking about Corona in the beginning. Artificial intelligence can be used in developing pharmaceuticals and healthcare materials. And this is where there is a combination of biotechnology, something called medical biotechnology or red biotechnology, agriculture biotechnology, green biotechnology, or industrial biotechnology, so-called white biotechnology or gray biotechnology, and marine biotechnology, blue biotechnology. All these things are very, very important, and chemical engineering plays a very important role. So development of medicines and therapies that can cure currently untreatable diseases. Very interestingly, I must tell you, by the by, in the United States, you cannot directly go and join any medical degree. You have to have one more degree before that. Only then you can go. So most of the medical doctors in USA are chemical engineers. Okay, most of them, because chemical engineering helps them to go far, because there is directly MD, there is no MBBS in USA. So biotechnology, there are a lot of things in medicine, like developing new medicine, making medicine, reading the genes, mending the genes, all sorts of things which I told you before. And so medical biotechnology is a fusion of genetics, cell biology, and many other sciences in order to further advances in medicine. Okay. So yes, medical biotechnology, stem cell therapy, recombinant pharmaceutical, all those things, DNA fingerprinting, name it, and the gene therapy, which I mentioned earlier. And so medical biotechnology, medicine and therapies which use proteins, enzymes, antibodies, and other substances naturally produced in human body to treat diseases, including genetic order. Believe me, human body is the best example of chemical engineering. Absorption with reaction, desorption, mass transfer, heat transfer, you name it. Okay, membrane processes. So all those things are, so the biotechnology also uses other living organisms like plant and animal cells, bacteria, viruses, yeast, right? And so their use on a large scale production of medicines will be very, very important. So diagnostic tests, medicines, vaccines, and biopharmaceuticals. So chemical engineering will play a role. Antibiotics and vaccines. So yes, medical biotechnology we talked about. And so then you have a gene of interest, okay, genetic modification. You can see how biopharmaceutical produce, okay, your nutraceutical, cosmeceuticals, and agriculture. So this is very interesting. And so this is where the big data analysis is going to do a lot of good things for biotechnology, okay. Once again, the combination of chemical engineering, chemistry, biology, and computer science. Okay, so these are some of the books which have come recently, like Gene Therapy, very interesting book. So we have many applications of biotechnology, okay, and I gave a lot of listing of this technology. So gene therapy also I told you. So remember why it is required. 64.5% of these gene therapies are for cancer diseases. Next to that is cardiovascular diseases, okay, then infectious diseases, okay, then monogenic diseases. So gene therapy is going to play a very important role in our life in future. Okay, and these are some of the diseases and the target cells which are given. I won't go into the details of this. This is just for sake of understanding that chemical engineering has expanded its scope beyond anybody's imagination. So we have direct delivery, so gene therapy, this is how it is done, okay? Or in vivo therapy or ex vivo therapy. That is you can remove the cells from the patient, then you culture, you create have a therapeutic gene, and then you modify gene, a cell is again introduced in the body. And of course, vaccines, since many of us have been vaccinated now, we know there are different types of vaccine, inactivated, attenuated, and the so-called adjuvants, okay? So rabies vaccine, and so we have this so-called mRNA vaccine and whatnot. So these days, so the Covaxin and Covishield. So of course, so the Pfizer and Moderna vaccine is a COVID-19. This is DNA vaccination and mRNA vaccination. You can see that. Okay. So yes, of course, in vaccination also chemical engineering will play a role. And this is just to give you, because I mentioned about COVID. Even here, chemical engineering plays a role because they have to be produced on a larger scale with the same precision and accuracy. Okay, these 5 vaccines are being monitored for phase 4, okay, wider population. And so yes, so this you can see, I won't go into the details, but these are the vaccines which are there in the market. And since we are all right now under lockdown, I thought I should include this. So the recombinant HB vaccine, and so biopharmaceuticals will be very, very important, where chemical engineers will play a very important role. Okay. And so what is going to happen, the so-called next crisis of biotechnology, next humanity, next biology, and next design. What role chemical engineers will play in this? Because many of these things, for example, you have this biofuel, agricultural chemistry, and GMO diets and whatnot. So, and one of the things, because, you know, building materials and construction materials, so renewal of civic infrastructure, bridges, roads, electric grids, water system, this has to happen from time to time because the whole structure is going to collapse, right? So this is where the chemistry and materials will come together, and chemical engineer will make it possible because we have to reuse them, develop new materials from them. So, and of course, and drones and robots will be used to minimize or avoid risk to people associated with handling hazardous chemicals. So in chemical industry, I had mentioned earlier, there are a lot of risky businesses. Can we use drones and robots? Answer is yes, that can be used. Okay? And in the case of materials world, we require regular materials, functional materials, smart materials, and engineering materials. And all these things, this is where we talk about Industry 4.0. Okay, so Industry 1.0, you know, 2.0, 3.0, this was automation and computers. 4.0 will be cyber physical system, Internet of Things and networks. Okay, so that is what, so industry has increasing convergence of digital, physical, and biological assets. That is Industrial 4.0. Okay, there are big data, system of integration, augmented reality, additive manufacturing, cyber security, name it. So this is the 4th industrial revolution. So this is where sensors and in the industrial Internet of Things, virtual reality simulation, all these things require materials, and this is where chemical engineers will play a major role. So we have, you know, all these future things, Internet of Things, legal, energy and utilities, hospitality, financial, manufacturing. So you can see at least these 2, and medical, where chemical engineers will play a role. So the role of sensors, different types of sensors, that is which is the key for Internet of Things. If you don't develop them, very fast sensor, whether they are biological or physical, chemical engineers have a role to develop them. So chemical engineering 4.0 will be the increasing convergence of digital, physical, chemical, and biological phenomena in industrial revolution. We will have many of these things in this chemical engineering 4.0. Okay, and so for example, I mentioned about deep learning algorithm. So this is the reactor. You have material A, B, and C. Then you have a gas product, gas concentrator, which is analyze actual value, estimated value. So you use all these automated system and process control. You can see that how the chemical plant will be controlled by using artificial intelligence. Okay, so now for example, in upstream only there is about $50 billion at stake. So exploration, development, production, this is for oil business, transport, storage, trading, refining, and marketing. See, the use of AI will increase, or automation, which will increase the profitability, okay, by 10% at each stage. So you can see AI and robotics in agriculture also, you can use that there. Or so in designing new molecules, okay, next generation of AI, that will be based on new molecules, okay. And so see, the average age is increasing, and so what is the impact of this genomic research? That there is a disappearance of boundaries between chemistry and biology. And chemistry serves to provide the interpretation of biological phenomena in terms of molecular structures and chemical principles or processes. And very importantly, cells obeys the laws of chemistry. And you apply our transfer phenomena from chemical engineering, right? So everything falls in place. And nature has been our greatest guru, because nature has been doing all these things over billions of years, okay? Right from many metabolic enzymes to make complex molecules. So of course, this is what, so living organisms carry out a remarkable array of complex functions using natural molecules and molecular assemblies, ranging from antibiotics to enzymes to the ribozymes to photosynthetic center. That means chemical engineers of future must learn biology and understand how the nature is doing it. And chemistry is also shifting from structure to function. No longer the chemists are interested only in the structure of the molecule, but what will be the function. And as far as the molecule or the material is concerned, we'd like to bring many functionality into that, and that can be designed. You can simulate that. So this is required to meet the biomedical, energy, and environmental needs of the future. So there is a marriage of biosynthetic machinery with traditional synthetic approaches, and this is what is going to help us in future. So sometimes you develop molecules which are not there in the nature. Like in nature, there is no carbon and silicon bond, but man has done it. So this is what is going to happen. So the applications in chemical, biological, and material sciences will be many, many. And so like generation of semi-synthetic enzymes, ion channels, DNA-directed chemical synthesis, and combinatorial synthesis, and name it, are enzymes which are being used in organic synthesis. Of course, well, this molecular machine was given a Nobel Prize to Fraser Stoddart, Savage, and Ben Theringa. And so it looks like a figment of imagination, but where I heard Fraser Stoddart are giving this lecture twice, very interesting concept. But to make it reality, chemical engineering is required. So the molecular robotics is this LACE group also created a molecular system which is, which can mimic the way chemical fuel ATP works. So you can see that these kind of molecules are designed, or you can have recreation of action of ribosome, okay? Or for that matter, you can see the ribosome, this is where the chemistry plays a very important role, or the Chematica's cost optimized due to drug vardenafil. So this is again where AI is being used, right? So we see machine learning accelerates catalytic train spotting. So catalysts can be studied from machine learning. And this is where you will try to understand where exactly the catalytic active center lies and how it bonds on the surface and with that sorbate. That is what it is going to. So machine learning and catalysis is another interesting area where chemical engineers will work to great extent. So this is what typically a chemical engineer will do. So to that we add metabolic engineering, chemical catalysis, separation, purification, formulation. You study undergraduate course. But add chiral synthesis, nanoporous catalysis, and you go to chiral pharmaceuticals, small molecules, and whatnot. And on the top of that, you add metabolic engineering. So biochemical pathways and bioinformatics. And finally, you can produce world-class pharmaceutical manufacturing. That is what I taught in the very beginning. Or you develop new drugs and chemical manufacturing, new manufacturing principles in downstream, because Downstream, I told you 80% of the cost is on downstream processing. So what will be the grand challenges? Grand challenges, synthesis and manufacture of any new substance by using compact synthetic schemes and processes with high selectivity for the desired product with minimum energy consumption and benign environmental effect. That is what is the objective of chemical engineering. And this will remain so forever. Understanding and controlling the reactivity of molecules for all molecular sizes and the full range of molecular sizes. Use of AI and data sciences or data analytics will help chemical engineering. Okay, for example, this one example I've given is ammonia synthesis, where linking DFT calculations for industrial reactor design catalyst selection. Okay, this is the published information. Or you have structure and composition of material and functionality. This is catalyst and how the electronic structure or the composition and functionality like catalytic activity help in developing new types of catalysts. Design and production of new substances, materials, and molecular devices with properties that can be predicted and tailored and tuned before production. Chemistry of life, understanding the chemistry of living systems in detail and mathematical modeling there. So you see whatever is shown in this picture, this is being done, in the lab of Robert Langer in MIT. Untreatable disease control and prevention, development of medicines and therapies that can cure currently untreatable diseases. That is the objective, right? We want to live longer, but also happily without any problem. Self-assembly as a tool of synthesis, development of self-assembly as a tool of synthesis and manufacture of complex systems. So you can have this kind of synthesis, which is crazy chemistry, which pharmaceutical fellows do it, and understanding the complex chemistry of Earth, okay, including land, atmosphere, biosphere, so that its livability is maintained. What chemical engineers can do in this? Chemical engineers can do a lot, okay? So similarly, the carbon dioxide, solar fuel cells, okay, and design and development, self-optimizing chemical systems. And green chemistry and engineering, sorry, it has become green chemistry here, revolutionizing the design of chemical processes to make them compact, safe, flexible, energy efficient, environmentally benign, and conducive to rapid commercialization of new products. So what is the biorefinery concept? You take biomass, have sugar platform, C5, C6, or you have combined heat and power, or you make syngas, thermochemical platform, and ultimately end result will be either fuels, chemicals, and materials. And I already told you that I'm dead against fuels. It should be chemicals and materials. So in that case, we have to study pyrolysis of heterogeneous residual mass, control reduction of carbohydrates, oxidation or degradation of lignins. Chemical engineering is going to play a very important role, including production and functional studies of biomaterials. Okay, or combinatorial biochemistry, which are, molecular biologists can study, but this will help chemical engineers in devising novel metabolites. Okay, so chemical biology and biotechnology of carbohydrates and proteins, we have to study this if we want to make impact into this area. Okay, so like microalgae, macroalgae. Microalgae, you can derive many of these things and look what sort of things can be produced. Okay, so yes, protein engineering and petroleum biorefinery. In fact, the protein engineering will help in petroleum biorefinery. Integrated life cycle analysis. Chemical engineers will play life cycle analysis. It is used wherever there is material and energy. No matter which branch of engineering you are studying, life cycle analysis is very, very useful. Okay, food, for example, we have to produce more food. 1 hectare has to feed 5 people. In 1950, only 2 people, 2 billion. This is going to increase. So that time it was 1 hectare for 2 people. Now 1 hectare, 5 people. That means productivity has to be increased. That means genetically modified food. It is already there, but yes, and these are some of the things. And chemical engineers will play a very important role. Okay, so you can see that a lot of these genetically modified organics, they are already there. Okay, so yes, there is a lot of mixed growth, and we see in the case of nanomaterials, everybody knows about nanomaterials, whether it is synthesis or organization or manipulation, like catalyst engineering, or large area synthesis, chemical engineers will play a role, and electrochemistry, very important things in Dr. Kamachi is here. You can see once again that is a very important one. So in chemistry of the future, which has to be studied by us, will be computer science, physics, biology, medicine. You can see that molecular material science, molecular nanotechnology, inorganic chemistry, computational chemistry, physical chemistry, environmental chemistry, organic chemistry. And so chemical engineering 4.0, atom to atmosphere, you see that all branches of engineering, mathematics, okay, science, they are all bordering chemical engineering. So chemical engineers can play with many of these things, and these tools are required. Okay, whether it is computer science, AI, and IoT. Yes. So chemical engineering will have a lot of connectivity with all other sciences and engineering. And therefore, in the very beginning, I said, God is a chemical engineer. So chemical engineering is there in linear as well as in circular economy, right? So chemical engineers will play a major role in circular economy, whether you recycle the material in the same or in some other form. And so chemical engineers' new role will be to bringing new technology to commercial function, technology having origins in scientific discoveries on atomic and molecular level, molecular world, and chemical engineers are skilled in integrating product design and process design and process control or optimization. This is the traditional thing which will still continue, and their skills are needed to develop genetic engineering, okay, as a manufacturing tool to create new molecular devices for information storage, handling, including biomedicines. So conclusions. Chemical engineering has been evolving continuously, and in addition to many of the traditional jobs, chemical engineers are at the forefront of every innovation. There is nothing like a pure science anymore. All boundaries have disappeared. Adaptation is the new mantra. Adaptation and adoption is the new trinity. Like I said in the very beginning, the trinity of change, challenge, and opportunity. Chemistry continues to evolve from its historical focus on molecular structure and reactivity and synthesis to take on the challenges of making small and large molecules, and even systems of molecules with tailored properties and functions. So chemistry has bestowed chemical engineering with the soul of its functions. Chemical engineering requires improved theoretical and analytical tools as well as innovative new synthetic strategies. Given the remarkable array of functions found in biological molecules, Mother Nature offers help in this regard through an approach to synthesis that seamlessly interfaces biology and chemistry. Chemical engineering has benefited from both physical and biological sciences. Chemical engineers must become highly proficient in the tools and concepts of modern biology without sacrificing their traditional understanding of transfer phenomena, reaction engineering, process safety, and scales of economies and process economies. The application of chemical engineering principles to biological phenomena has revealed new opportunities, for example, drug discovery. Growing sophisticated in the methods used to produce and identify molecules that engage in distinct interactions with one or few components of a more complicated and dynamic biological milieu. Cleaner and greener processes based on cleaner and safer reagents are highly desirable. We know of the tightening environmental regulations, no matter whether today or tomorrow. Sustainable development and responsible care are most important issues for industry. Catalysis with renewable feedstock is the way ahead in developing green, smart, and economic processes. Use of biomass, carbon dioxide, water, and air and sunlight will lead to sustainability. Nothing is best but well, that is, so the so-called systems engineering approach. New types of catalysts, reactors, and processes will be required for process intensification and waste minimization. Understanding the role of pores, particles, and interfaces will help in developing cleaner and greener processes. So ultimately, the human body, every part in the human body is replaceable, right? So, so biomaterial. So that is what I said, all engineering students must study biology. Nothing is this human body which you were born with. For example, a day will come, maybe another 20, 30 years, that most of the human body is being replaced, slowly, one by one, not all at a time. Maybe heart is replaced, liver is replaced, kidney is replaced, eyes are replaced, teeth are replaced, hips are replaced. So, those of you who understand little bit of Sanskrit, I will tell you, in Bhagavad Gita, there is a very nice sloka, which Lord Sri Krishna tells Arjuna. What it says, Nainam chandanti vastrani, nainam dharati pavaka, nacha kledayantya apo na soshayati maruta. Meaning thereby, the soul does not die. It is transferred from one body to another body. It cannot be clothed. It cannot be burned. It cannot be dried. So if our human body is replaced by all these artificial organs using biocompatible materials, have we not done it already? Is man not playing God? So yes, and this is where towards the end, I want to tell you the industrial employment of BS chemical engineers in United States. You see, pharmaceutical and biotechnological world. You see, imagine in chemical industry, only 23% go. Rest of the in chemical engineers go in different areas, including pharma, materials, foods, electronics, fuels, name it. And they get the highest salary, right? Chemical engineers get the highest salary in the United States, 70,000 K. Okay. So in this particular slide, which I have also got in ICT as a poster, everything, whatever is there, what I spoke just now is mentioned in this slide. So this slide itself, I can keep in front of me and talk whatever I said before. Okay. So lastly, can we predict future? Is it the extension of today's courses and research? So think of this, where artificial intelligence, machine learning, okay, deep learning is going to help us in designing new, smart, and smaller and energy efficient plants. That is what is going to happen in future. Okay, and that's what we are going to do. So what is the innovation within chemical engineer? Chemical engineers are in an ideal position to develop solutions for some of today's most important problems, such as providing food, potable water, goods, and energy to a growing population. Satisfying these needs via conventional methods would be impossible and potentially disastrous for the planet. Significant advances are needed to improve productivity and yield of crops, reduce environmental contamination, improve energy and water stewardship, and more. And so the new industries, the consequence of previous and current waste generation will require new industries built around the reuse and recycling of existing landfill materials. I mentioned this in the beginning. So demand for lighter weight, more durable materials that are fully and easily recyclable will increase. Okay. So lastly, chemical engineering of the future will continue to be omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. So what chemical engineering must aim to address the biggest problems facing humanity. And as I mentioned, from atom to atmosphere, we can use our principles. Solving the mysteries of life and extending it, making it livable. I already told you about the biopharmaceuticals and gene therapy. Chemical engineering is highly economic and expansive, and it will continue to do so. So we will have traditional chemical engineering, but we'll have many more new vibrant courses being added. Connecting theory, simulation, experiment, and analysis, and being more predictive. Okay, predictive, that is going to be chemical engineering. And chemical engineering must promote openness, reproducibility, graciousness, and reason, like all other courses developed for human society development. So ultimately, this is my research group. Okay, so I must thank the and so this is the so I graduated 150 as was mentioned. Okay, and finally, my question will end: is God a chemical engineer? Okay, my question is this, and that lady who's ever talking must wait for a minute to answer this question. Who says so? Okay, is God a chemical engineer? So after the person who is talking to you says so, and I said it on 17th of February 2001. So God says yes. God also says I'm a chemical engineer. But wait a minute. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Yadav. Such a wonderful marathon lecture. 1 hour, 1 hour 30 minutes, as you said. Such a wonderful topics, such wonderful innovative ideas, and every slide is one talk. every slide is one talk that you
Yeah,
address to
yeah, that is
gathering,
very.
and
that is-
I can see as a speaker that how much effort you have put in to assemble such wonderful collection of data and information, which I don't think that by reading even an encyclopedia you will get it. Thanks for making this wonderful talk to us in this.
I
way.
worked last 2 days to make this.
Oh,
Like,
it's
I
great!
thought
It's
what I
great!
should do.
It's great! Very innovative ideas, and you have given a lot of thoughts now for us to ponder around. And there is no doubt that there are plenty of things left for chemical engineer. It's not
Yeah.
that things are exhausted. There are many things to come. You made a very beautiful point from 2001 to 2008 to 2018 to future. How things are going to be there and how new things are coming, and you have wonderful things for a chemical engineer to do. Left out many things that are going to come in the future. And on behalf of the IICHE Mumbai Regional Center, we all salute you for giving such a wonderful talk, most inspiring talk. I think right from the senior most people to the youngest students, all of us have benefited. The total crowd was around 148 at some stage.
Oh,
And
great.
yes, that was a great thing. And they are going to even put it in the YouTube also subsequently. I have
Let
no
them,
doubt that
let them, let
yeah,
them.
that will attract more and more, more and more.
Limited circulation.
Yes, yes,
We
yes,
did
yes,
a limited circulation
yes,
because in
yes,
between
yes.
by mistake somebody started
Now,
presenting. So,
now
yes.
I hand over to Mr. Dawal Saxena, the honorary secretary, to take care further. Over to Dawal Saxena.
धवल एक शॉट ले लेना स्क्रीनशॉट सबका.
Yes, yes.
Screenshot, screenshot.
Really,
Yeah, yeah.
you can
Yes.
take screenshot. We have Satyanarayana Saab also,
So I'm
Basavarao
taking the
Saab
screenshot.
also, all our past presidents, National Council Secretary Abhijit Ghosh. So we are really glad.
Satyanarayana is there. Vinay ji is there.
Vinay sir is also there. So Basavarao sir is also there. So many, I think, Yadav sir, I think with the limited circulation, because sometimes what happens when more are there, they start presenting, but still we are, I think with your name, 168 or something we have already crossed. So that is the magic. And yes, I think I got encouraged in 2001. I was in 10th or 11th only, not much. So when I heard his talk of God as a chemical engineer, so certainly
You decided to become chemical engineer so that
Yeah.
Praveen Saxena ji
that
can
is the
give you
reason
a
my father always asked. He started, getting me in IICHE after my 10th itself. So now I understand how things are, and really great, sir. And actually, this total session of Diamond Jubilee is clubbed with Professor G.D. Yadav's, century, like Sachin Tendulkar, 100, like when he made, I was like, it is something which is, to be published, like a Sachin Tendulkar in the chemical industry. So really, sir, we are great to have your blessings as always. And we really want, and this total Diamond Jubilee lecture is incomplete without your presence actually, because sir has not even mentioned that our Vikhroli office at MRC is also, the initiation taken by Yadav sir.
because of me, I collected all the money.
So all the money that we are enjoying as kids enjoying the benefits, and and even the young students from ICT.
No. It is a service to profession. Does not belong to me. I did it. I could do it. Therefore, I help. That's it.
Sir, you are always so kind, and I think he has made another record of being the the chairman at ChemCon. Apart from the 100 PhD, so we keep learning from you, and there is always some innovation coming out from you. It is almost 20 years, and still I am able to get new slides from you on the same relative topics. So it is something a miracle. So thanks a lot, sir, and we are really blessed and glad that you were able to make it with our small request. So I close this session with that.
I can simply say, Dhawal, today in the audience, starting from 30 years to 80 years plus people are there. So
Yes.
that shows means interest, and when Dr. G.D. Yadav is there on the other side to speak,
Yes.
so and certainly it was to the interest of all, young, middle aged, old, and I think I'm seeing Dr. Arun Trivedi, Dr. R.C. Rastogi, who are 80, no, means 75 and 80. So that shows the means the kind of lecture it was. So I think yes, we all enjoyed.
Yes. And it will be published on YouTube, sir, now. The total session. Like
Sir,
Salil over here
eight
with
months
me.
also there, sir. 8 months.
Yes.
Huh?
8 months, sir. 8 months
Oh,
old also
grandson!
there.
Oh, great!
Oh.
Oh, so future chemical engineer.
Yes, yes.
Now, sir, he wants to become
Yes,
engineer. I will not be surprised.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Jadab sir, for your nice talk.
Oh, great! Abhijit is there. Ah,
Yeah, yeah.
good. I'm very happy to see some of the old faces. Of course, known friends are there. And as usual, Praveen Saxena is there. I don't know what he is eating or drinking, but you know.
So I'm Tyagi speaking from BMC. Right? So
Hello, how are you? Oh God, I'm supposed to give a lecture to you only.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Next month, sir.
That is on 17th June, right?
17 June, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I have to prepare something.
I especially called Tyagi to attend.
Yeah. No, he has invited me for his function. I'm going to be there. Oh, great. I can see some of the persons who are known to me. Oh, good. Very good.
Sir, it's a great lecture, sir. Yadav, sir, it's a great lecture, sir.
Satyanarayana.
Inspiration to many of the youngsters, sir.
I'm very happy to know that. My job was to keep people, inspired.
Yeah. I think we must give a good hand to and clap for Dr. Yadav. And now he has to rather take through that ChemCon 2020.
No, but I just want to know, will our ChemCon in Bhubaneswar will be physical or it is virtual?
That I think DP Mishra ji has to say something. I don't know because still nothing has come out.
Sir, I had a talk with Professor Basu sir 2 days back. So presently they are thinking in dual mode. So the most of the abroad speaker will be in online, and those are willing to visit physically. There will be accommodation of around 200 people because their auditorium has the capacity 600. So they are planning within 200 they will allow inside. Like that they are planning at this moment. But they are also very uncertain what will happen if third wave comes. So, but still at this moment they are deciding in dual mode.
Okay.
Yeah, let us hope for the best. I said that chemical engineers are going to play a great role in manufacturing these vaccines.
Yes.
So let us give them some hope.
Yeah.
You make sure. So,
Right.
yes.
Title was very good.
Thank you, Jan Saab. Nice to see you.
So thanks to MRC for arranging this type of lecture.
No, thank Dr. Kamachi Mudali and Dhaval Saxena.
And Dhawalji.
I thought this morning, I thought he forgot because I had to send him WhatsApp message. Is the lecture there or not?
Sir, I deputed this. Salil is from ICT only.
Did not answer, so I had to direct the same to his father.
Yeah, actually yesterday, sir, I was awake till 3 o'clock. Now this work from home culture has changed our whole schedule.
That he's sleeping or what?
So then I asked Salil. Salil is from ICT only. I am lucky to have all these student coordinators. They are working, conducting various things and even helping at a national level also.
So you will have a big program for celebration of this, our, MRC.
Sir, actually we planned, but unfortunately the second wave, everything, even the AGM, we thought that we will be trying to have. But,
It's online. Was it conducted online?
Yeah, online we can conduct, sir. Like we can club it with the AGM. Now in June we'll be having. So we can plan something online only because earlier we thought that probably things seemed to be at a nice end in December, January when we had FemCon. So we thought that probably by June we'll be able to make it, but then the second wave and everything now, it is better
Now
to go
also we
online.
can plan in month of October like that, because that time little bit I think will be settled.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I tell you, most probably there will be third wave, not second wave, third wave.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That
is going to be
spread,
there.
that spread may be less, okay, but it will be there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I think
Because,
it will. Fourth wave is also.
Prediction is there somewhere October, November.
No, see, after our big festivals, starting from Ganesh Chaturthi,
Yeah, Diwali,
Dashera, Diwali, what do you expect? People will relax. By that time, a lot of people would have been vaccinated and they will think, oh,
Yeah.
now they have job, they can enjoy. That is what happened now also.
Yes.
Yes.
After Holi, it started.
Arey, people
Yes.
played Holi for no business, they played.
Actually, sir, the DRDO, we heard that they've get some cure. Some cure is there for this.
DG is there.
DG.
That is the,
Deoxyglucose, okay, easy.
yes, something. So maybe there are chances, but as far as things are concerned, when we speak with this, because we being a chemical industry associated, we talk with Cipla, we talk with Dr. Reddy's and all these companies. The inputs that we are getting is somewhat like, that everything needs 3 to 4 years time minimum, because even the vaccines which people are getting vaccinated, but still there are doubts with things. And we have cases, worse cases, like some people visited from US taking Pfizer vaccines, but still they were not able to survive in COVID in India. So those sort of things, when we hear, it is really difficult to predict what is going to happen. And they say that third wave.
Look, your immunity will increase because of vaccine.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But
Yes.
you can still get the disease, okay? You
Yes, sir.
may not have severity.
Yes, sir.
If you are okay, if your diabetes is under control, any other disease is controlled, then no problem. But if it is not already controlled,
Yes, sir.
like this black fungus, mucormycosis, happens to people who are diabetic and highly uncontrolled sugar.
Yes. Yes, sir. So that is the key role, sir, actually, to be having a good immunity and to make a culture, actually, a new cultural change is required. How people should work and how, but the work culture, sir, chemical industry, I think we should say that we were already following a very good safety norms. And all the US FDA and all those things came into picture. That is the reason able to survive. Otherwise, it was difficult to, take the things.
Yeah.
People are changing, things are changing. We are working now. We are online conducting and able to.
Yeah, this is a new mode of communication, and this is going to be like this. In future, it is going to be like this. Even UGC is saying 40% lectures you can have this mode.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Sir, Jadhav sir, this time also we are providing more than 1,700 students for online internship program from headquarters.
OIP.
Oh, that is great. I
Yeah.
think I must thank Professor Satyanarayana for taking a lead last year.
Yes.
Basavarao ji was there last year.
Basavarao and Satyanarayana was also supporting me.
Yes.
Always there. Satyanarayana sir is always there.
Oh, everyone supported there last year, and last year, sir, it was a huge success. And whatever the revenue generated whole the year, this year already we have completed by this time. So another batch is coming. So it is very much successful.
Good. Indian Chemical Society also we have started it. Safety
Yeah,
lectures.
I have seen that.
I gave a couple of lectures.
The deficit created by the examination banned by AICT now compensated by this our online training program. So
Yeah, it is good. It's good.
very well.
Good.
Yes.
And also, sir, that the headquarter building facilitated to Bani Institute, and they are providing rent. So you had a talk, no, at Delhi. You told me try to arrange. So we have done with the help of Basavarao. So Bani Institute are utilizing our spaces for 2 days in a week, and they are providing good renting amount to us.
So good now, but plus get it painted first.
Yeah, no, that is already is under process. So I think within a month it will be painting. Painting will be done.
At that time, I had talked to these fellows from Kansai, I guess, to give you free paint.
How is Kolkata now?
अभी एशियन पेंट वालों से बोल दीजिए साहब आपको
Asian Paint फुकट में देगा. They may give you concession.